So far, the highest result this year had only been D rank, low tier, and no one had surpassed it yet. As he stepped forward, the testing device activated, and the demon core slowly began to resonate in response to his presence. With a calm and confident expression, he placed his hand on it. Deep down, he knew exactly what he was doing. There was no need to use his full power. Showing everything right now would only draw unnecessary attention. Even so, he knew that even while holding back, his strength would still shock everyone. Then the results appeared. Grade D tier, high potential, S rank. As soon as those words appeared, the entire hall erupted. Gasps of shock echoed from every direction. People shouted, "How is this even possible?" Even the members of the student council were stunned. They hadn't expected this level at all. Someone yelled that this was the first time in the school's history that an S-rank potential had appeared. Others began murmuring that this person would soon become a major figure. The instructors exchanged glances, and one of them confirmed that the result was accurate and that it needed to be reported to higher authorities immediately. Another said that such talent would definitely receive special attention from the government. Off to one side, a figure was quietly observing, a man with sharp eyes and an imposing presence, one of the highest authorities in the academy. He had come specifically to watch this year's trials. He glanced at another figure standing nearby and remarked that such talent appearing was rare. The other person calmly replied that this wasn't the one he had come to see. The principal raised an eyebrow. He became curious. The other person continued, saying that compared to this, an even more interesting individual was waiting. At that very moment, the announcer called the next name, Si Chen. One of the student council's lackeys stepped forward and taunted Si Chen, saying that at least once he should do something for his dorm. He mocked him openly, saying that at least once he should bring some respect to his dorm. He added that if they ended up with low ranks again, they would become the biggest joke in the entire academy. The rest of the roommates stood silently, with their heads lowered. None of them had the courage to talk back. Their results had always been average, and deep down, they all knew it. Malong clenched his fists and fired back, saying that Si Chen would shock everyone and shut them all up. As Si Chen stepped forward to enter the testing chamber, the atmosphere instantly changed. The moment he walked in, the demon core reacted violently. Its surface began to tremble, and its eyes snapped open, locking onto him. There was a clear tension. The creature itself seemed restless. As Si Chen moved closer to the core, his thoughts were calm and clear. He understood what this test truly meant. The graduation assessment wasn't just about strength. It was about showcasing one's worth in front of the major guilds. Only those who performed well here got the chance to be recruited into top-tier organizations. For most students, this was the one opportunity that could change their lives. The strongest teams would be selected, and from them, the very best would be taken by the Imperial Guild itself. Watching the testing chamber, Malong began to feel nervous. Time was passing, but no result was appearing. He muttered that something felt wrong. Normally, the evaluation didn't take this long. People nearby also started whispering, wondering if Si Chen's results were so bad that the system couldn't even process them. Some sneered, saying that if nothing was showing up, maybe his power was so low it couldn't even be registered. A few laughed, already convinced of the outcome. The student council's lackeys grew impatient. One of them mocked that the remaining candidates were clearly useless, and there was no point in staying any longer. He suggested they should go somewhere else and sit. The group began preparing to leave, fully convinced. Just then, the screen suddenly flickered and updated. Rank D, high tier. The entire area fell silent. Malong froze, his eyes wide open, while everyone else stared in disbelief. Someone shouted that it was impossible. Another voice claimed that the system must be malfunctioning. Even the bullies looked shocked. Then the system updated again. Warning, abnormal data fluctuation detected. Recalibrating. Inside the testing chamber, Si Chen stood calmly. There was no change on his face. He knew exactly what was happening. The results that had just appeared was only based on his base physical state, without activating any extra power. As the system began recalculating, he switched into another internal state. Then he activated it. The power he had just obtained. The readings spiked instantly. The display flashed violently, and then it settled. Rank C, mid-tier. The room erupted into chaos. Gasps of shock came from all sides, and people shouted in disbelief. Even the evaluators were stunned, nervously checking their instruments. The system suddenly issued another warning. It detected instability inside the demon core, signaling abnormal fluctuations in power. The creature inside began to panic, its eyes widening in fear. It trembled, as if it had realized that something far beyond its control was present. Now, it had only one desire, that this human would leave before it was completely destroyed. Si Chen clearly sensed this. He changed his form again. This time, he activated the power of his purgatory. As soon as the transformation was complete, a terrifying pressure burst outward. The entire testing chamber shook violently, and the atmosphere instantly changed. Everyone watching felt their knees weaken. It was as if a god had descended. Just from that pressure alone, it became hard to breathe. Some people even collapsed to the ground. Some people instinctively bowed down. They couldn't suppress the fear that had filled their bodies. Then the system completely glitched. It had stopped processing the data altogether. The researchers watched in disbelief, panic clearly visible on their faces. One of them shouted that the machine couldn't handle this level of output. Another yelled that the readings had exceeded the maximum safe parameters. Even the most composed individuals began to feel fear creeping in. This was something that shouldn't even exist. The demon core had finally reached its limit. Its surface cracked violently and collapsed inward. The energy inside was completely drained. It had burned out, overwhelmed by a force it was never meant to withstand. Si Chen stood there calmly, watching the last remnants of that power fade away. He understood what had happened. He had gone far beyond what the system could handle. The demon core hadn't broken due to any flaw. It had simply been devoured. As the energy settled, a new notification appeared in his mind. Acquired exquisite demon heart. As soon as it integrated, his perception increased dramatically. A new awareness spread through his senses, one that allowed him to see the strength of everything around him. Within a certain range, he could now perceive the power of every existence, as if the world had suddenly revealed its true nature. With just a glance, he could see the real ranks of the people nearby. Most of them were low-level awakeners, E rank, some barely in D rank. A few were slightly higher, but none of them were truly impressive. Then his gaze fell on Dong Ting, and the truth revealed itself instantly. Mid-S rank. A faint smile appeared on Si Chen's face. So, even that arrogant student council president had been hiding his true strength. No wonder he carried himself with such confidence. Someone shouted angrily that Si Chen had broken the testing device. Another blamed him for wasting everyone's time. The noise kept growing louder until a voice cut through it all. It was Glutton. He stepped forward. His face was calm but firm as he told the others to step back. He warned them not to insult someone like Si Chen so lightly. This shocked the crowd even more.